Recently, I've been wondering about success and kind of thinking more far ahead into the future of what actually happens. Um, I'm very confident that the actions and the disciplines that I'm taking right now, they will lead me to the success that I want. Like, working out and building my body, that's going to lead to more muscle. That's going to lead to more attraction from women. Or like working on these businesses, they're eventually going to end up working and I'm eventually going to have success in them. And all the other areas of life that I'm working on, I know eventually, more than likely, I'm going to reach a level of high success, whatever that may be. But I started to wonder, okay, well, what happens once I reach the point? Like, what comes after? Because, I've been so fixated on these goals, like making more money and, working on my body and improving my relationships and whatever. But what happens after that? Like, once I get to that point, am I just going to keep doing the same things? And, what's in store for the future? And I don't think it's something a lot of guys think about. I think what a lot of people do is that, once they get to that point, they just keep going, keep doing the same things. And yeah, that's fair. But what I was really worried about is becoming corrupt, having my success change me in a way that I wouldn't like it to. Because, for one, being in the kind of success culture, self-improvement, whatever, you kind of have to adopt different beliefs in order to like be on this path. Like, you can't be like everybody else. You can't be like the average person and do the things that everybody else is doing. Like, if it's going out and partying, drinking, doing a whole bunch of drugs, if you're trying to improve yourself, if you're trying to improve your life, you kind of have to step away from that crowd and do your own thing. So instead of like doing all those things, you might, be working out or just reading or just doing these better habits, right? And I realize that in a very real way, even though obviously there's a bunch of people out there who are like on the same path as me or on a similar path, in a very real way, it has isolated me from quite a bit of the people like in my immediate environment. Like, I can't relate to them because I don't do those same habits. I'm not engaged in those same things. I want different things out of my life and I'm engaging in different habits than they are doing. It doesn't make me better than them. It doesn't make them better than me. It just means that we're on different paths, right? Now, being different from that crowd, being like a different person, I kind of got this sense that, hey, if I keep going on this path, if I keep like separating myself, what happens if I become really powerful, have like a lot of money and influence and whatever, but I just get corrupted? Like, I let that money and like influence and, fame or whatever it is kind of change the way that I think, and it starts hurting people. Like, I don't know. There's some people who I used to look up to, and I see where they are now and like the things that they believe and, the way that they move and whatever. And it's not like the way they were before. And I started to think about like, well, what if that happens to me? What if I end up changing myself so much in hopes of being better and improving, but I end up going the wrong route and end up, sacrificing my values and hurting people and just doing all this bad stuff in the name of success or to, protect my ego or something like that. It's like a second order consequence that I really want to avoid. And to be honest, I don't have the answer. I think right now, like, I don't know how to protect myself from like that level of, power and success or whatever. Cause, we hear the saying like absolute power corrupts or whatever, or absolute power corrupts absolutely or something like that. I don't want power to get to me. I don't want to become an immoral person and start doing bad things, betraying my own values just for more power, just for more success. mean, the best I can do now is kind of plan for when that happens. Like, I have an idea of, okay, this is what I'm going to do once I make a lot of money. Of, okay, I'm going to do this for this. I'm going to put this money here. I'm going to do this right here. And, once I get to this certain level in this certain area of my life, this is what I'm going to do. Kind of planning the steps out so I don't impulsively react in a certain way that, feels good in the moment, but is not good in the long term. But man, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how to stop myself from being influenced by success and power in a bad way. I'll give you an example, so I guess it's more concrete. Like, before, I was really into like the self-improvement and like on this path of trying to improve myself and become better. My belief was more so, okay, I'm going to wait for somebody else out there to help me so that I can get to this higher level, and kind of I'm relying on other people to help me to get to a better place, right? But then I had to adopt the mindset of, okay, nobody else is going to come to help me. I have to fend for myself. I have to build everything myself. I have to work on myself to get to the place that I want to. And it's a very useful mindset to have, because it's allowed me to have more agency over my life and do the things that will get me to the place that I want. But by having that belief, if I hold that so dearly and it's like a conviction of mine, what happens when there's other people out there who genuinely may need help, and like the advice of, oh yeah, you're just supposed to, do it all yourself, take care of yourself, have more agency over your own life. What if that genuinely doesn't apply to them? What if they genuinely do need help from somebody else? How am I supposed to know that, hey, this rule applies to me, but maybe it doesn't apply to them? Maybe I actually need to go out and help them. Does that make sense? It's like, I'm starting to realize now, because like, just like thinking over my life and comparing it to other people's lives, the advice that I might give myself, it may not apply to somebody else. Other people are genuinely in different situations. And to say, hey, you just got to get off your ass. You got to work harder. You got to stop being lazy or whatever. What if there's someone who's genuinely in an environment or in a situation where they can do all that, but it's genuinely like near impossible because of where they came from? Like, I'm trying to see the bigger picture, and I realize that some of my previous convictions just don't apply everywhere. And as I become more successful, as I get more powerful, I just want to make sure that I'm not doing the wrong thing and like doing wrong by other people just because of my standards and, what I see in myself. Or like another example, just because I have more emotional control, I might say, it's like, just because I have more, I can control my emotions a little bit better, I may not be as impulsive as someone else may be to like anger. Like, I used to have anger problems when I was younger, but I kind of got over that. Just because I have that, what if I encounter somebody who has anger issues? Like, should I judge them and be like, oh, you shouldn't, have these anger issues? Yeah, I could take that standpoint, but what if their background was different? What if, excuse me, it's a ladybug about to get on my camera. There we go. But yeah, what if they came from a different environment and that was just what they grew up around, and it's genuinely harder for them to control their emotions like that? It's like, it's hard not to do the wrong thing. And I don't think that I will ever be perfect. I'm not sure if that's even possible, but I definitely want to be better. I definitely don't want to become super successful and powerful and then hold everybody to the same standard that I hold myself and end up hurting people unnecessarily or like judging them unnecessarily. I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about, and I don't have the answer to it. I don't know concretely what is right and what is wrong. I know the things that may be right or wrong for me, my personal life, or for my standards, or for what I see myself as. But for somebody else, I genuinely don't know. And I know that I can't be perfect. I know that whatever decisions I make, there's going to be a positive of that, and there's going to be a negative of that. Ideally, though, I want to get the most positive out of whatever decisions I make and reduce the amount of negatives that come out of the decisions that I make. But yeah, I don't have an answer to this. It's just something I was thinking about, and I'm not going to stop trying and like working towards being successful, because I definitely do think that is an important aspect of life. But I'm starting to think more of, okay, once I actually get to this point, what am I going to do? Who am I going to become? How do I make sure that my success is beneficial, not only to myself, but to the people who I care about and society at large? Because, man, there's some people who came from nothing and, you know, they built themselves to be really successful, and they kind of forget that there's other people around, and there's other people who still have needs, and they kind of just forget about that, forget where they came from. I don't want to be one of those people. Anyways, just something to think about. Maybe you got some insights or value from this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. Peace out.